So you've learned some inversions and arm balances, and you would like to figure out how to start incorporating them into your practice. So this video is for you. We are going to go over how you can transition into some of these arm balances and inversions within your practice. So I'll meet you on your mat. So the first shape that we will talk about getting into is our crow and all of the different places that we can get into our crow from. So first is our yogi squat or our malasana. So super easy place to get to your crow from, and usually in a class. So very easy way to take a few moments to play with your arm balance. Obviously what that looks like from your yogi squat is as you plant your hands down, wrapping those knees into wherever you find, shifting your weight forward. And if this is cued in a class, don't worry about timing, just keep listening. And when it's time for you to come down, when you feel right, you just meet the class back wherever is cued. So the next shape, similarly to our yogi squat, that's going to be very easy to get into our crow from, is a forward fold. So if we're in our forward hold, we can keep our hips high, plant the hands down. As we bend through the knees, we shift forward, finding your crow. Maybe this is a longer hold for you in a personal practice, so it's really up to you how long you hang. Or maybe it's in a class where we're hanging out in a forward fold for a bit. You can play, meet them right back. Keep in mind that if you're doing these things in a class, don't be worried about other people around you. Meaning what other people are thinking around you. Obviously know your limits and what you're able to play with in a class where you're not going to be disrupting anybody else's space or practice, but play where you can play. It's your practice, do what you want to do. Another great place that we can get to crow from is our chair pose. Very similarly to our forward fold, we can just come right down. Knees are already bent to connect with the back of the arms, or we can even come into our twisted crow. We can come onto the toes, plant the hands down, shift to the side. Maybe you've got legs out. Maybe you want to play with some different leg variations. And the last one I'm going to talk about to get into your crow is one that I am still very much working on. And that is from your down dog. We're able to hop forward and land onto the back of the arms, bending through the knees, looking forward. You really want to focus on stacking as you jump forward. So not necessarily focusing on landing on the back of the arms, but see if you can get those hips stacked to then gently land on the back of the arms. Again, this is something I'm still working on. So play, practice, and those are all of the places that I'm going to show you how to get into your crow. Moving on. So the next inversion that we will talk about is our headstand. Now, headstand, pincha, and handstand are all pretty interchangeable between these shapes, but headstand for now. But just know that you can kind of use these with all three. Starting in a wide leg forward fold, we can come into our headstand, whether that's tripod headstand, dropping the hands down underneath the shoulders and then dropping your head. Or maybe that looks like bound headstand, bringing the hands down to your triangle and mounting up this way. Do our forearm stand from a straddle. Another great place to get into your headstand and also your forearm stand is going to be your dolphin pose. So that forearm stand, down dog position. And from here we can play with hops. We can play with one leg kick-ups. You can take the legs out wide and you can play with a straddle. Keeping in mind that if we are working headstand here, we always want to enter with control when we have the head fixed to the ground in order to protect the neck. So no jumping in a headstand. A really fun transition to try and incorporate the two that we've just talked about, which was our crow and our headstand, is starting from your malasana, moving into your crow. We're gonna use this as a little push-up, dropping the head all the way down, very controlled. Let the knees come out splayed to the sides as we drop the head, and then coming into our tripod headstand. So I hope that this helped you get a little more creative, incorporating some of your arm balances and inversions into your practice. Don't be afraid to practice these things in public classes outside of your personal practice. Again, the classes are for you, and as long as you feel safe that you won't be disrupting other people, play with the things that you can play with. I'll see you in the next one. I hope this helped.